Hey guys, welcome back to the YouTube channel. It's been a while since we put out the content, and actually, since 1 month ago, we put out a content. A lot of things have happened, especially great news for the Indian cricket fans that finally won an ICC tournament after a long time, after a gap of 11 years. 17 years since we won a T20 World Cup, 13 years since we have won a World Cup, and 11 years since we have won an ICC trophy. So it's been a long wait for all the Indian fans, and I still believe that all of us have not got over the tremendous win from uh, what the team has produced. And without further ado, I'm going to introduce my guest, Ajit. And I'll give my first reaction first of all. So I would like to say that the tournament was a pretty smooth tournament. I think, especially India's perspective, without losing a match, except the Reynard game against Australia. But then overall, if you look at the tournament, I think first of all the balance, the team is pretty good. With by having opening of Virat and Rohit Sharma, it allowed the team to play Shivam Dube as a middle order batsman who's a spin hitter who can offers you the an option with the ball, and having four all rounders. And if you look at the throughout the campaign, we only made one change only, and rest of the and that shows this amount of stability which the team uh, has has shown. And the beauty of this team is that we have not relied upon one or two individuals. Everybody at some point or the other has contributed. Whether you talk about Rohit Sharma, we talk about Virat Kohli in the finals, we talk about Rishabh Pant in the initial tournament stages of the tournament. You talk about Akshar Patel in the couple of games he has scored some cameo. Hardik Pandya, Jasprit Bumrah, Arshdeep Singh, and Shivam Dube with this couple of cameos, and then many more are there. I, I can't name everybody in the team, and where and it shows the credit to the kind of mindset that supposed the team management has bought in the fearless way of playing cricket, the high risk cricket, which has been shown by the captain Rohit Sharma, who's leading from the front, and the other guys have followed it up. So, and the bowling has been tremendous. I mean, we have defended totals pretty well. We have chased down quite a few low scores also. So I think overall, if we're looking at a tournament perspective, it was a near tournament perfect, except the final though, because there were a situation where all of us were lost hope, where it's going to be another heartbreak for us. But credit to the bowling, man. Credit to Bumrah. Credit to Ashdeep and Hardik Pandya for really pulling the way through. And and the last and not the least, we heard some retirements. We're going to come back to that topic very soon. But I would like to hear Ajit's reaction to the entire tournament. What do you think about the entire tournament?
Well, the entire tournament is something that I would say that it's the kind of tournament as a whole. Talking from the very beginning of the group stages or even the warm up matches till the final, we've seen so many teams, play throughout the whole tournament, and it's goes to show that ICC gave an importance to every continent around the world and have a representation from every continent from the world, whether it's Asia, whether it's Africa, whether it's the North American continent, whether it's the Oceania continents with Australia, New Zealand, Papua New Guinea, and other teams. So I would say that it has been, and even Europe as well, of course, with England, Netherlands, Ireland, etc. So I'd say that it's been something that the ICC haven't done in a while, especially involving a lot of these teams and giving them a bright spot, giving them a spotlight. Um, Maybe you would have seen some, I don't know, qualifier matches. Usually in this previous few, like the T20 World Cup or the Cricket World Cup, you've seen qualifier matches, and you see qualifier matches, and you see the two teams who have done well in those tournaments. They get into the group stages of the main tournament. So you've seen that happen, but this is like after a long time. Maybe that's what ICC used to do. Probably like I don't know, like 17, 20 years ago, something like that, they would include a lot of teams with, from different parts of the world in the bigger stage and try to give them I would say international coverage. And this is something that they have taken the initiative, which is something that I personally have wanted to see myself. It's just you don't need to make it as just one single group and try to put 9 to 10 teams in one big pool, and just make every team play against each other and then go the quarterfinals or semifinals or the finals or the knockout stages essentially. So that was something that I would understand that, on the perspective of fans saying that, okay, there are a lot of dead rubbers in it, or some matches that which don't have any use of, just watching it, because it's not in the interest of every people around the world, to watch it, apart from the countries that who play, like people from that country who are watching it and they want to see their team play. So apart from that, you won't see much of coverage, with the exception of USA, who have given a lot big surprise this year, qualifying for the Super 8s, and which I thought it could happen before the tournament, considering that what they did prior to the tournament, in order to get themselves qualified for the Super 8s, considering that they beat a test playing nation in Bangladesh in a three T20I series, and then in the group stage they beat Pakistan. That really caused the elimination of Pakistan, essentially, which eliminated Pakistan from the group stages, and they did not make the Super 8, which was surprising. So it was, the tournament as a whole was a more it was very slow build. We had some dead rubbers, but at the same time, you had to expect the unexpected, because there are a lot of unexpected games which happened. And especially the group C, which I thought it was kind of a very a group of death, I would say, with New Zealand, Afghanistan, and West Indies in the same group. So it was like everyone, or most of them, even the ICC themselves, if I'm not mistaken, they put a seeding for it, and essentially with an assumption that New Zealand and West Indies are going to go through. But I mean, we saw what happened. I don't need to explain further. And I would say it was not so speedy. It was not speedy with a lot of speed. It had a lot of speed breaks. Sometimes it was a bit slow, but once the Super 8s went on, it was too fast. It became a fast paced tournament, and it became a lot of good great games going on. And eventually we saw that, finally India winning the World Cup after, a World Cup after 13 years, an ICC tournament after 11 years, a T20 World Cup since the first edition of the T20 World Cup. That was something that, it was the hangover still there. If you look at it, I mean, that's the reason why we are still doing a video on this, like 3 days after India won the
Apparently,
World Cup,
by the
because
way, by
this is
the
the
way,
hangover, man.
recently, no, just now, like half an hour or 1 hour ago, Rohit Sharma has tweeted that there's going to be like a bus parade in Wankhede Stadium on July 4th. That
Yes.
means tomorrow.
Yes.
So the
Yep.
hangover still continues. They have to meet the Prime Minister. They have to go to New Delhi. Then plus they have to go to Mumbai for
Hmm.
a bus parade. So a lot of stuff
Yep.
has happened. It means so much for the country. You mentioned about the tournament as a whole. I felt that a lot of people have criticized the pitches of the as a whole, because especially the New York surfaces where it was. Let's be fair. I think the pitches weren't the best of it, but it has produced thrilling cricket actually. For a change, we are
Yeah, of
seeing some
course.
low scores. Because
Of course.
because a month ago the IPL produced a lot of high scores, which was way too one-dimensional
Yep.
towards the batsman. But then it's good. It's a good change that we're seeing some low scores being defended, a lot of thrilling games. And once you come to the Super Series, also it has produced some really good cricket, variety of surfaces, couple of flat surfaces, couple of low and slow turning wickets. And I think in the final also it was a perfect surface between bat and ball also. I think so overall, if you look at the tournament's perspective, there were some variety of surfaces that every team has been challenged. Some teams have got used to it, some teams have not, have complained a lot. And another factor I would like to say is that there were other some of the associate nations have competed really well. They had
Yep.
the test playing nations on the hook. We've seen Scotland uh, almost creating an upset against England and Australia. We've seen Netherlands almost pulling off another upset against South Africa. We have seen Canada pulling off an upset against Ireland. and we're seeing variety of upsets also. So looking at the whole tournament for the from
USA
the
versus Pakistan.
holistic
That's the biggest upset,
yes,
bro.
USA, that's the biggest upset, of course. So USA versus Pakistan is the biggest upset. So looking at from the overall world global point of view, I think it was a perfect tournament where, uh, of course, let's be honest, the purpose of the tournament is to promote cricket in USA, by globalizing, by including
Of course.
everybody, every other nations, and to show to the US community that they are trying to promote that they are serious about the sport. Yeah, tell me.
Just to say that to promote the cricket in USA, I wouldn't say that I did a lot of research from articles, but maybe through other various sources of videos in YouTube regarding USA's history in cricket. It was back when USA was ruled by the British. It was still, it was there way back in the time where you had cricket in India, of course, in Australia and in England themselves. The British, who they were the ones who invented cricket. It was also there in the USA as well, but over the years, once USA gained independence, they did not exactly promote cricket or did not. It was not uh, integrated into their culture, if you know what I mean. And unlike teams in Asia, they were able to integrate cricket as a part of their own culture. Like that was, even though it was a sport, but it was like a cultural thing for teams in Asia. But that was not the case in USA. So I think ICC, even though you would say that it's more promoting cricket, but if you actually look into the history of it, I would say it as trying to, I would say, making an attempt to elevate the sport in USA, which was not attempted over since, I don't know, 200 years ago, 250 years ago. That's the kind of an attempt they're trying to do. That's what I was able to look into it not too long ago, but again, that's what I wanted to add upon.
Yeah, that's a actually I didn't know that actually. That's a good interesting tidbit. Uh, but then the and if actually if US wants to promote the cricket, the actual local Americans has to take over the sport. I think which I'm sure this T20 World Cup plus the upcoming Olympics in Los Angeles, I think that will create a bit of a rise and a bit of a momentum, a push for the Americans to come and take the sports very seriously. And it takes some time because it's a new thing, and the rules of the game is a little complicated. It's a little different compared to what they've seen when it comes to baseball or the basketball or maybe
Yep.
hockey and all. But I think looking at it, I think plus the Major League Cricket also, the tournament has started to happen where they could start discover a couple of young kids who's taking interest in the sport, especially the Americans, the local Americans. If they start taking over the sport, I think it'll be good for the cricket. Actually, in my opinion.
No, no, continue, continue. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean that's why I completed my point.
So adding to what I said along a little bit, yes, that trying to try to do another attempt of promoting or trying to elevate the sport in USA, which did not happen for over 200, 250 years. So that's what I would say. And yes, if you'd see cricket in USA, of course you have a proper cricket stadium in Dallas, and there's another one in Florida. I'm not sure whether they just used the baseball stadium in Los Angeles. If I'm not mistaken, that was the Dodger stadium they would use. So I think that's pretty much one of the grounds they use in Los Angeles. And then, of course, they tried to do that in New York. They built a stadium just for the World Cup, and you saw what it was. The pitch was not that good at all, but and understandably so, because it takes a long time for you to prepare a pitch and get the pitch set, mature a little bit more, and make it conducive for playing. So, and of course, with since it's a drop in pitch, you had to freeze it up, trying to make it stable, freeze it up somewhere in Florida and drop it down again in New York. So there's all kinds of complications and logistics, just confuses a lot. But again, since you mentioned upon having low scoring thrillers or scores which are not up to the expectations of what it was in IPL. I would say that this past season of IPL was an aberration, more or less, because it's the first time things have happened like this. You're seeing every other team scoring like 250 on any given game. You would see KKR scoring 270, Sunrisers scoring 270, above 260 three times in a season. Like in the previous
Mhm.
league was like only once. That was RCB who scored 263 back then, and since
Is it because of the
just immediately this
wickets?
past
Is it because of the wickets? Is it because of the wickets, or is it that the batsmen are getting more fearless? They're getting, or is it the bats which is getting more stronger, or is it the batsmen are getting more fitter or more stronger to hit the sixes? What do you think?
It's a bit of everything. Like you said, the pitches are obviously India has one of the that slow wickets you have is one of the flattest surfaces in the world. You see a lot of wickets. You see some of the stadiums are too small, and when you have flat pitches and small stadiums, it's easier for you to hit. And of course, the modern day batting drills, like every other cricketer, would speak about it. It's everywhere in the internet. They would just speak a lot about how the drills have helped a lot of players to develop that power hitting techniques, trying to get the techniques in. It's not just about having strong muscles or having a good body physique, but it's more technique related, and getting the correct way to it's a lot. But at the same time, IPL had that impact rule as well, which made it easier, and it pretty much had a very minimal effect for all rounders. But that's the thing with ICC. I think it's the IPL was an aberration, but the ICC T20 World Cup made it normalized. If you look at it, that's pretty much how a T20 match should go. Like that's the low. Sometimes you have the low scorers. If you play the cricket in the normal way rather than having impact rule and all that stuff, you just have 11 versus 11, the standard way. It's pretty much this norm. You will see like on an average, I would say like 160 to 180 being a very good score in a T20 match. Of course, it has been chased down numerous times as well, but usually you would see like teams trying to get to 160 and then go further than that. 170, 180, 190, and then 200 all of a sudden becomes a very big challenge. It's a mammoth total in general, if you look at it, and that's how this tournament has made to look upon it. Of course, the pitches in West Indies are different. It's it's a bit of you would see a bit of assistance for bowlers as usual. Some are good for batting, some are rank turners, some have a bit of a slow pace, bit of a, I don't know, the modern word that has been thrown around often is that tacky wickets here and
Hmm.
there. It's that kind of a tournament where it's it's been a normalized tournament, I would say, rather than it was that expectations and that highs we had for IPL. It's just came down to a little bit lower and a few notches lower, and it's just that reality.
I
It's all
think
dragged us to reality, if I would say that in a very simple way.
final
So that's how.
final point before we move on to the next topic. I think what you mentioned about the that ICC T20 World Cup has normalized the vibe of the actual T20 World Cup, where IPL has shown. I think it is. I think it has to do with the conditions itself, as I mentioned earlier, because a lot of previous the punditries have mentioned that it's going to be. Some of them have mentioned it's going to be very. Most of them has predicted it's going to be the very normalized version of ICC tournament. It's not going to be like high scoring or very few grounds. And if you have seen a lot of other content creators, a lot of YouTube channels, they have also mentioned the same thing that certain surfaces will give you a different type of uh, approach, the way you will approach, the way you bat, the way you bowl. Like for example, Sen Lucia is one of the probably the most flattest wicket ever. That has produced a high-scoring thriller in Australia versus India. If you look at Barbados, it is also a really flat wicket. Also, you've seen the thrilling final. You've seen Guyana, which is a low turning wicket. So, and you see New York also. That has also shown a pacey and bouncy wicket with a bit of a grass. So every wicket shows a different challenges, and that kind of I don't know whether it will. It's a great way of promoting cricket, but actually it has made it very thrilling. That's what I feel. But I think we will. I think we can move on to the next topic if you like. Ajay,
Yeah,
do you
what
like
is
to
it?
move?
Come again?
Do you like to move on to the next topic?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We can move on to that.
I think
I don't have anything else
what's
to
your
add on that.
reaction? What's your reaction of the India's win?
India's win. I mean, I was very happy. I was just watching that match late night. Yeah, I thought that when Heinrich Larsson took down Akshar Patel, and that's when I thought, okay, the match is almost over. But when Klaasen got out, that's when I thought, okay, now that the balance has tilted. It was like pretty much 95% South Africa, and then all of a sudden it tilted back in the favor of India just a lot. Even though it was still advantage South Africa, but once Klaasen got out, that was when okay the tail or the South African lower order, even though they're capable of scoring, but on that pitch, especially when you have Bumrah, Arshdeep, and Hardik Pandya trying to squeeze you out in the remaining 5 overs, that's remaining 5 or 6 overs. That's a very big challenge for you, and that's exactly what happened. And of course, I was happy, seeing India win. Especially you could see the emotions. Especially for people like Hardik Pandya, man, what a difference it made, and what the kind of stuff he went through for the not too long ago. It was like 1 or 2 months ago, which all happened, and man, it was something else, man, for him to redeem himself like that and to win the match for India. And I think you should give kudos to the selection committee for sticking
Yeah,
and backing up Hardik Pandya, knowing that even Rohit Sharma also backed him, especially considering that I've always mentioned that whenever you need him to play the crucial games, he has almost delivered it for the team. He's that big match player and also one of the rarest commodity of cricketers that India have produced, having that fast bowling all rounder, which normally by Indian cricket standards you don't see a lot of fast bowling all rounders, since you who's been this good with both bat and ball since I don't know, Kapil Dev.
couple
I mean, someone maybe would say Irfan Pathan, but he was more of a deadly new ball bowler rather than a batsman who is a capable batsman. Even he would say it, but not to the level what Hardik
yeah.
Pandya and Kapil Dev are. So I would say that that's the kind of a
Kapil
big
Dev
match
is
player that
Kapil Dev is this. Kapil Dev is this. Hardik Pandya is this. There's a difference.
there is a difference, but I'm saying that since Kapil Dev, you haven't seen a lot of fast bowling all rounders that India have produced, and Hardik Pandya is one of those
Yeah,
that rare type of individuals, who bowls well with the new ball and the depth. He was bit of a versatile bowler and also very good finisher who's slowly, getting that. Ever since that back injury, he was not used as a finisher a lot. Often he was used in the
yeah,
top or the middle order because he was still not, recovered fully from that back surgery. He's still getting injured after that as well. Now in the T20 World Cup, he pretty much got his hitting power back, and he has embraced that finisher role. I would say that not only he got that
yeah. That's
that
true.
hitting power back full time, he's become that old Hardik Pandya that I've personally seen him. And that old Hardik Pandya where he can hit from ball one. That version of Hardik Pandya before back injury, you
Yeah,
don't want him to face in the death overs, especially you don't want to bowl him in the death overs,
yeah.
considering that he can hit six
True.
from ball one. And I saw that old Hardik Pandya come back to life in this World Cup. That's one thing. And of course, what a farewell. I mean, we are going to talk about the whole retirement, but what a
I will
what
talk.
a farewell for Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma, man. We'll talk about it. So, but I just want to touch upon that. Virat Kohli, Rohit Sharma, and
Yeah, yeah,
even for Jadeja, Akshar Patel bat.
yeah.
He played very well with the bat, and throughout the tournament, he's been one of those unsung heroes. If you look at it, just like Hardik Pandya,
I would
he
like to
was one
mention.
of those.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I was even
Go ahead.
I I tell you what, when I was watching the match, I was having a video chat with you, Prithvi and all.
Of
I
course,
was like
yeah.
that's I was like keeping my mouth shut. I'm not giving any reaction. I'm like, okay, I don't want to talk too much. I don't want to say anything and all. I was just keeping my mouth shut. But when the this is a true story, guys. Me, Ajit, and Prithvi were having the video call, and what happened was at the moment when Pasru was pulverizing Akshar Patel, that's when I cut the call. I was like, I can't take it anymore, man. I cannot take it anymore. But suddenly the shutdown
Yep.
over at Bumrah bowled, the break which Pant has taken, that was a very mind games which Rishabh
Yeah.
Pant has played. Then
That
the
was
wicket
mind
of
games at his best.
and Hardik Pandya picking up the wicket. So everything, then Bumrah coming in. And bro, Macha, I have to talk about Bumrah, bro. Bro, that man is like a magician, bro. When with the ball, he's something else. There's a saying that you're going to target only 16 overs. The batting teams that are batting, they'll target only 16 overs. You know why? The rest of the 4 overs, there is Bumrah. Like how Sunil Narayan used to be in his peak, the same way Bumrah
Mm-hmm.
is. And
Of course.
the way he bowls, man, he is unbelievable. The economy rate of like, at least 4 runs per over. And the highest he has conceded is 29 runs
Throughout the
against Australia,
tournament.
man. That throughout the tournament, bro, it is crazy level, bro. I the way he bowled, man, during he just created the pressure which made life easier for Arshdeep and Hardik Pandya. And bro, I am going on the limb and says that I know all the old generation, the boomers will say Kapil is the greatest bowler. I'll say Bumrah is the best bowler India has ever had. Period.
Oh, without a
Because
doubt.
the almost every format,
The best fast
every
bowler. The
format
best
he
fast
is
bowler that India has
the
produced. Yeah,
the best fast bowler India has ever had. Because
of
almost
course.
every format he has created an impact with his test, one day, T20, IPL cricket. And the fear factor which he creates is another level, man. The batsman gets scared of him. He doesn't look like a guy who's going to scare you. He doesn't look like a guy who's going to sledge you. But with the ball, he does the talk with the ball. He's a deadly
Yep.
menacing bowler. He has variation. With his awkward action, with his bounce, pace, yorkers, floor balls, in swing, everything. You name it. He's the most complete fast bowler you will ever get. Probably the
Of course.
best of this generation, the best the India has ever produced. I have nothing else but salam to Jasprit Bumrah, man. He is the greatest fast bowler India has ever had. And another thing I like to point out that is that, bro, the ones that I saw the celebration, I'm sure you would have also watched the celebration of the bro.
Of course, yes, I did.
That I felt that emotions, bro, because after 11 years of the suffering what we fans have gone through, that it means so much for Rohit, it means so much for Virat, it means so much to Hardik Pandya, what he has gone through. As you have described it perfectly. Everybody has gone through a lot, man. And I really believe that what this set and let's not forget Rahul Dravid, man. Rahul Dravid is probably the most deserving person
Yeah.
to ever get this World Cup because in his playing days he never won a World Cup. In the
Yep.
same location, same grounds, he's been eliminated in the 2007 World Cup as a captain, and now he won a T20 World Cup in the same ground, a full circle, and that man really deserves it. And
Basically, chuck the India climax.
Chak the India climax, Kabir Khan, he is a Kabir Khan of Indian cricket. He experienced highs and lows in the
Yeah,
same ground,
I
and
mean,
he's
it's just it's so touching to see Rahul Dravid, celebrate like this. We usually don't see that
and
from him. He's very stoic and very,
it's the
calm.
emotions.
But
It's the
man, that
emotions.
I would say that when he was the captain for the 2007 World Cup, and I don't need to describe all the kind of turmoil and that whole the rift and the chemistry, the lack of chemistry they had in the
You
2007
don't have
ODI
to.
World Cup.
You
I
don't
mean,
have to
you would know
mention
the
it.
story.
Of course. Yeah.
And to win it all now, oh, I mean, it would have been sweeter if he was able to win the ODI World Cup. I mean, we don't need to talk too much
Mm.
on it, but like
Yeah,
I
yeah.
said, it's still a World Cup. It's still a World Cup. It's a different format, still a World Cup, still something that we still celebrate now. That hangover is still there. And
Hangover is still there.
yeah, that's
It
pretty
means
much
more.
it, man. It's
I
That's pretty
I
much it.
feel I felt emotional, bro. I really felt emotional, bro. Like, truth to be told, I couldn't when I saw the trophy celebration. It means so much, man, for the fans, for the everybody, each one of us. Bro. We've been waiting for this moment. And to give credit to, I think we have to straight away credit to the retirements itself. Virat Kohli, first of all, bro. No, everybody was criticizing Kohli for the way he plays for all the tournament. He's trying to hit out, get out. But then my point of view is that it's that the way the team is playing, the way the team has bought in the philosophy of playing, the aggressive brand of cricket. He really bought it pretty well. It's just that he's not able to connect the ball. He's not able to get that flying stars.
And that's not his game. And you know it
That's
well,
not his
man.
game.
That's not his
Yeah,
game.
it's
We've
not his
seen
game.
Virat
But
Kohli over the years. That's not his game in T20
yeah, yeah,
internationals. It has
he was
never been
able
his
to do.
style.
No, he
Even
was
in a
no, no. He
normal,
was
even
able
in
to
a
do.
normal T20.
No,
Yeah, go ahead, go
no, he
ahead.
was able to do in IPL. He was able to do it in IPL, but then IPL is a different thing. Flat surfaces, the
IPL.
quality of the bowling is still lesser. But then when you're playing in T20
No,
World
no, no, no,
Cup,
no, no,
where the
no. The
pitches are,
quality of bowling is good. No, 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 no. Let me correct you there. The quality of bowling in IPL is still good, but you and I know very well. It's very difficult to bowl in India for a fast bowler or any other bowler in general
exactly,
if
yeah.
you're
But
not
in
able to
but in when we were playing
master
in
the
West
skill
Indies,
and the
no, no,
conditions and also the impact
yeah,
rules.
yeah,
So many other man. I can't really point
maybe,
out that.
maybe,
But
yeah. But the problem, but what I'm trying to say is that the pitches in West Indies is and New York, almost every surfaces are different. So some way or the other, I felt Virat Kohli couldn't get back to his the old game that he's known for. But he gladly bought in the final when we lost 3 wickets in the power play. He was able to consolidate the innings with Akshar Patel playing an important knock. Shivam Dubey, let's not forget Shivam Dubey's innings also because he made some
hmm,
crucial contribution throughout the tournament. People expected him to be
of
this
course,
six hitter and all, but actually he may not set the stage on fire with the, but having said that he made some crucial contribution. But where Kohli played that innings, man, the crucial innings that set the game for India to score that 170, where which is always scoring 170 was all in a final is always a pressure for the opposition. And the kind of legacy and the bowling, of course, what we've seen in the finals, I don't have to mention because everybody has seen it, everybody has discussed it. But I want to like to mention about Virat Kohli, the legacy which he leaves, probably the most versatile T20 batsman ever, in my opinion, the
hmm,
most versatile
yep,
batsman ever. He was able to adapt to the condition, to the opposition pretty well, and probably the most clutch player ever. Knockout situation, he has the perfect record. And it reminds me, and this knock reminds me about how Dhoni in 2011. Dhoni in 2011 didn't do shit in throughout the World Cup, but in the finals he bought his best game. The same thing happened with Virat Kohli. I mean, he hasn't done anything
yeah,
in the league stage or in the semi-finals, but come the World Cup finals,
that's true.
he he set the stage on fire in the biggest of situations. So that I think we miss what we'll miss is that we will find batters. We will find batters. India has a lot of good, talented batsmen. We all know that. But we will miss out the clutch player, the aggression, that intensity which Virat Kohli brings. I think that's something we'll miss. What do you say about Virat Kohli?
Well, it's I don't know why they many around the social media circles or everywhere in media, build it up as a very big retirement and all that. I mean, it's just one format of the
Yeah,
game. He's retired. He's not completely out of international cricket, so we don't need to dwell too much upon it. But I would say is that him, and also he's still going to play IPL as well. So let's not forget that. It's just the T20 internationals he's going to retire, and I think it's the perfect time and the perfect stage to do it, going
yeah,
out on a high, which not many of them would get, though, especially if you looked at some of the great cricketers in the past. A lot of them, if I want to mention anyone, for example, Yuvraj Singh, or even MS Dhoni for the matter of fact. Let's take both of them. We are some of the stalwarts of Indian cricket, and they didn't have this kind of a farewell that what Virat Kohli and you Rohit Sharma also got. They didn't get that kind of a farewell, even though they would say like we don't need that. But if you want to say that it's something that very rarely it happens, but I mean it's so luck. It's there. It's scripted perfectly for Virat Kohli, especially in the T20 internationals format, to get a T20 World Cup win and to be the second Indian to win trophies for the Champions Trophy, the ICC Cricket World Cup, and the T20 World Cup, the white ball
He will
triplets
he
of
will
all the
become the
tournaments.
first. He will become the first cricketer to win all four trophies if he win the next year's WTC final if India qualifies.
Well, I don't want to touch too much on that right now. We might do that a little bit of while, which
It could it
we'll
could
see. We'll
it could
see.
it could it could
We'll
happen.
see.
It
We'll
could
see.
happen. I'm
I
just
don't want
saying.
to.
There's a
Let's not go ahead of ourselves. ஓவரா
I'm just
புரி
anyway.
புரியுது நம்ம
I'll just I
ஜெயிச்சிட்டோம்.
am
புரியுது நம்ம
now
ஜெயிச்சிட்டோம்.
சொல்றேன்.
ஆனா
Anyway, now I am just bringing out the possibilities. It could happen.
I know it is possible. I know it is possible, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. That's what I'm trying to say.
I don't know. One Rohit Sharma, bro. I think if I could describe a word of Rohit Sharma, bro, he is charismatic. Probably the most, probably one of the most charismatic captains ever. He very calm, composed, sharp-minded, into data, but also he uses a bit of an instinct. I think people compare him with Dhoni, but the difference between him and Dhoni is that Dhoni is a very instinctive captain. He's not into data, whereas Rohit Sharma uses a lot of data, but also has a bit of a instinct. But nothing. He also has a great instinct. Dhoni or instinct வேற level, bro. He's a some instinctive player, captain, and all.
Because
Whereas Rohit Sharma mix data plus instinct together. Plus, he's a very empathetic captain. Also, he understands players' perspective a lot. He backs his players a lot. He gives them, he motivates them, and he consoles them a lot. And we have seen various examples. And I think under his leadership, a lot of players have grown. Whether we've seen Kuldeep Yadav, we've seen Mohammad Shami, we have seen Virat Kohli revived his form under Rohit Sharma's captaincy. We've seen
yeah,
take the matter of Shreyas Iyer also. Shreyas Iyer also has done very well in the 50-over World Cup. Hardik Pandya. So a lot of cricketers have grown a lot under Rohit Sharma as a captain also. And I think the emotions which he has shown in that post match means a lot for me. He was so desperate with this title win. Actually, he was so super desperate with it. And
yeah.
I have to talk about his batting, man. The way he evolved his batting, even at this age itself, the way he played that aggressive, high risk brand of cricket, man, he really destroyed bowling attacks. He was able to create that impact, and it set the and he gave others the freedom to do that. One way of talking but playing freedom. There's a difference between talking and doing it. He was able to not only talk, but he walked the talk. That's a difference. That is what
Yeah.
that's what leaders do. He was able to set the stage of fire. He's not caring about his individual milestone, he cares about the team. And that's the difference. So that's what I would say. And with his retirement, I would say Rohit Sharma, the batter, we may not miss because we have other aggressive batsmen in the lineup. But I think we'll miss his captaincy, man, because his captaincy is something that we will miss a lot, actually. The way he is able to, the decision making, especially the when we India when South Africa required 30 of 30. I mean, people thought we had to bring Bumrah, but he was so calm and composed, and he was able to delay Bumrah's bowling. Shows that he was calm. He didn't panic at all. That is the genius of Rohit Sharma, and he has done that many times in his captaincy career. And it's like in his and it's similar to what he did to Mumbai Indians, the way he was able to defend with some of the low totals. Or similar, it's a similar case with this final. Also, he's bringing all the experience, what he captained Mumbai Indians into the fore actually. So I would say Rohit Sharma. I think the captain will miss more than the batsman actually.
Yeah, I would say that as well, and I would say him as one of um, the most notorious, or I would say the most famous overachievers, I would say. And why I say is that you might remember as that when you started to watch cricket, I don't know, let's say around 2009, 2010, maybe somewhere around the time. So
2019.
I used to watch even before that, and that's when I saw Rohit Sharma when he first came into the scene as a 19, 20-year old, fresh off under 19 World Cups in 2006, and he came in as a very young that prodigy that built prodigy of a Mumbaiker batsman, the typical prodigy batsman that you Mumbai would produce. Even though he had a good start, was a player of the winning 2007 T20 World Cup. Had a good outing in Australia with some of the seniors in ODI cricket, and even maybe in ODI cricket, that is. He didn't make his test debut 6 years after that. But I would say that, that was when, I thought, okay, he's going to be a very good batsman. He was there in the middle order. But then, of course, he was not the most consistent players of that. It took him like, I don't know, I would say like 6 years, 6, 7 years, especially when Dhoni made the move of, sending him as an opener, and that ultimately changed his career, and especially his white ball career. And that helped him to get into the test match level as well, because he was able to do so
Mm.
well in the white ball format as an opener. That really propelled him to finally get his test cap and finally make his test debut. And that was something that I would say that if Dhoni had not done that, probably we would have not seen the player that Rohit Sharma, the player and the captain that he is today. And also the way the past 11 years, I mean, especially in white ball format, ODI and T20 internationals. I mean, he's had the run, probably one of the best runs of any international batsman in a while. I would say probably in this generation. You pair him with along Virat Kohli. I mean, Virat Kohli speakers obviously in miles ahead. We don't need to discuss that; it's undisputed. But Rohit Sharma's rise, to superstardom, and to all-time great levels. Like probably, back in the day, you'd had experts or legends, saying that he's going to be the future, the next in line.
Sachin
They've
has
been building it
predicted
up
it.
for a while.
Sachin has
Yeah,
predicted
he
it.
predicted it. He
Sachin and
predicted it,
predicted.
of course. Yes, 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 correct. He predicted it, but even though I was like, he was not so consistent. I don't know. Even though he looks elegant and pleasing to the eye when he plays, when he's on song. I'm talking way before when he started to open. He looked good
Yeah, yeah.
while he was batting, when he was playing very well. But it was too rare. It was very inconsistent, and him in the middle order. They tried so hard to put him in the middle order. They've given chance after chance after chance. Did not work the way it could have. His maybe because that's one of the reasons why he was not selected in the 2011 ODI World Cup, but that's a different story. But like I said, that that the way he was able to get his spot as an opener, when he got the backing of Dhoni and even the selectors, when he started to flourish as an opener, that's when it was a astronomical rise in numbers, and his stardom just grew exponentially, grew up so quick. And within by 2016 or 2017, he was that guy. He was it in white ball format, and even in T20 internationals or even IPL. He was that guy. He had that elegance and that grace as a batter. When you look at it, that elegance and grace always feels pleasant to watch. But
Pleasant to
that
watch.
along with that that really added up. Not just that, but what added along with that is his destruction. That the way he
The
would just
power.
destroy bowling attacks single-handedly. That's
He
why I
added
said
that power.
that's why I say him as exactly the power that he had, and the way it looks good, and the skill and the timing he has. I would say that's the reason why I say him as the overachiever, because when I saw him, when he started to play, I was like, I don't know what, he's just another good middle order batsman, but not living up to what they were expecting. But then, even though the expectation might be a lot, but I was like, I don't know. But then He has achieved a lot, and and when I say overachiever, as a matter of fact, they would say that he is that good of a batsman, but he is
Yeah,
among the one of the greatest Indian batsmen of all time. If you
I
look
would
at it,
say I'll go in
India has
step.
produced a lot of
I
great
would
Indian
say
batters, man.
he's in this generation, the last 10 years, he's the greatest white ball opener. This
No,
generation,
he's
he is
one
the
of the greatest
greatest
white
white
ball
ball
openers of all time. Not just this generation.
all
One of
time.
the
I
greatest
know all time.
white
Yes,
ball openers
he
all time, and
he
Indian
cemented
history
his
also, and Indian cricket history.
he cemented.
Don't
No,
forget that.
I'm talking specific. No, I'm talking specifically this generation. Of course, what you said is that
Yeah,
he's the
that's
greatest, one of the
not a
greatest
dispute.
white ball, one of the greatest white ball openers of all time. Indian cricket, all that stuff. I agree with you. But in the generation part, the lot of competition with a lot of openers. If I take an example of Warner, Deacock, maybe few of others
Yep.
I may have forgot. But in last 10 years, specific white ball record, he is the greatest. I mean, three double
Of course,
hundreds,
as an opener.
five as an opener, five T20I centuries, and uh, and the way he came through, especially this T20 World Cup, the way he batted and played with that aggressive intent, man, he was
Two
smashing
clutch
bowlers for
games, by the way.
fun.
Two clutch games.
Two clutch games, exactly, against Australia and again and England.
England.
He
Mm-hmm.
smashed them like anything, bro. Senjita Semi just smashed them to the core, bro. But I think, but as I said, actually, and plus, if you look at, if you finally his when he took over the captaincy for Mumbai Indians, his India career also started to grow. So that is
Hmm.
also another way of looking at it.
That's that.
His captaincy career started where his India career has also started to prosper. So both ways it has gone up astronomically. That is a very rare thing, actually,
Basically,
in my opinion.
basically 2000. Basically, all those things happened in 2013. If you look at it, because
2013
he
started.
became
Everything
he became
happened.
2013 because he won an IPL as in the middle of the season, taking over Ricky Ponting as a captain for Mumbai Indians
Yes,
in 2013. Became a full-time opener or appointed as a full-time opener until he cemented that completely within the next few months. Also in 2013, winning a Champions Trophy in 2013, getting an ODI double hundred in 2013. Pretty much that whole
everything happened.
2013
Yes,
basically changed his life, and that's why I said
yes,
him as an overachiever, because he was touted to be one of those special players, but not this level. I did not see this coming, especially when he missed out the 2011 ODI World Cup squad. He was there in every single T20 World Cup in the Indian squad for every single ICC T20 World Cup. You look at it, he's the only player who has done that in the history of the ICC T20 World Cup history till now.
yes,
Has played every single
yes,
edition of the World Cup for India. I mean
yes,
T20 World
yes,
Cup, that
yes.
is. I did not see this coming. I did not see this, this, this
Level of
achievement,
success.
this kind of legacy. I didn't see that. That's why I said. That's why I say that overachiever word repeatedly and as a
Yeah, yeah.
compliment. It's
Maybe.
not something bad to say. It's
I don't know. I agree
something
with
that
you.
he
I
is.
agree with you.
Yeah,
He have overachieved a lot. And I think even as a captain also, man, as I said, very charismatic leader, man. And the way he captained the team, bro, he's so fun to watch. Have you seen his stump
of
mic and
course.
all? That gaane mein ghumega, uh, all the dialogues, all he mentioned, his press conference is so
Yeah.
funny, bro. He is he's like
He
a big
sometimes does
brother,
that
bro. He's
intentionally,
so
bro. He just wants the commentators to hear it, because I think he kind of intentionally does that, because that's he's showing that that's pretty much what every other cricketer would do, except that they don't say it near the stump mic. They
yeah.
just do that
No, but no,
somewhere in the
He does
outfield.
this to no. He's a very interesting character also. If you look at it, he's like a bigger brother type of bird. He will scold you in front of people, but he will give you a nice hug and give you love and all. That's the kind of person he is actually. And you've seen in some of his interviews and all, he looks a very chilled out person actually. He's very refreshing to watch an Indian
Yeah,
captain
that
doing
is
that
true.
actually. A bit of what MS does that a bit. Very funny also, charismatic also. But I think I have to like to mention Jadeja also. Jadeja also has retired also. Let's not
Hmm.
forget that. I think if I like to mention the word of Jadeja, I think it's simply the probably in T20I standards he probably didn't achieve as much as he has achieved in IPL. To be honest, if you look at the stats wise, he has scored 500 plus runs, picked up 40, 50 wickets. But then actually, the one thing I would like to mention Jadeja is that he is the fabulous fielder, bro. Probably one of the greatest fielders this generation has ever seen.
Of
I think
course.
with his batting and all, he made
Maybe
some
the best
important
that India
contribution.
produced. Maybe the best
Yeah,
fielder
the best
India
is
produced.
maybe yes, could be. It is. And probably with his bowling, actually, although he hasn't done much in this tournament. But if you look at the overall legacy, what he has achieved, actually, with his batting, he has made some crucial contributions. He bowled well in the middle overs. If a wicket, if a wicket shows a bit of a turn, he's a dangerous bowler. He's a dangerous bowler,
Yes,
and
of
he bowls
course.
stump to stump line. And with his lower order batting, also, he played some really crazy cameo. He has played some very good cameos. Like if I could remember, I think it was against Australia where he scored at 40
Hmm.
odd. I think it was in Canberra or something like that. I think that's where he scored some
Yep.
crucial cameos and all. So I mean, and I think even against Pakistan also in the Asia Cup also. Uh, I think he was promoted in number four, number five, 2022. I think in Dubai.
Yes.
Uh,
Yes, yes, yes. That's the one.
so I think
That's the one.
yeah, he has played some very significant innings, but I think if I look sum up Jadeja's career, it was a very one thing I would say is that he's a very I feel he has underachieved as a cricketer in T20I formats. IPL is a pista, bro. IPL is a baba. He's a
IPL and Test
bacha, bro.
matches untouched.
IPL
IPL
test
and
match,
Test matches
bro.
is
Test match,
untouched.
IPL test matches, even limited overs also he has done really well actually. But in T20Is, probably because he hasn't got a lot of chances to bat because of the tremendous success the top.
He pretty much turned out to be the rock star for India, man. If you look at it, because yes, he would say that in
Yeah,
T20 internationals, you wouldn't, get reminded of not a lot of things, but he has contributed whenever the team has needed him to
yeah.
do. And
Whenever is required.
test matches and ODIs, Jadeja is you can't touch anything on that,
Yeah.
bro. But
Yes, that's true.
IPL also the same thing. T20 internationals, I would say you are right about what you said about Jadeja, but he has delivered when India needed him to do, and he's always been that team player. And any format, even in T20 internationals, man, you do not want to run between the wickets when Jadeja is the one sprinting to get the
Oh
ball
yeah.
and throw out the
Yeah,
stumps.
that's true.
He's the last guy you
That's
want. You want to run
yes.
and try to outrun his throw and the sprint action. Everything is, like I said, is one of the best fielders that India has ever produced all time. India have produced
Yes.
some good fielders, some great fielders over the years, especially since the late. I would say when Dhoni became a captain, when he took over captaincy, that was when the fielding culture for Team India actually started to blossom
What
a
about
lot.
Mohammed
It's under
Kaif?
Dhoni,
What about
actually.
Mohammed Kaif? What about Kaif and
No, no,
Yuvraj
no.
Singh?
I'm not. No, no, no. I'm not saying that. I mean, of course, Mohammad Kaif is also one of the best fielders in India have produced, man. I'm not disputing that because not many people would know about Mohammad Kaif. He is also one of those really handy batters, but a very phenomenal fielder. I'm not saying that, but that culture of
Ah,
that culture of Indian fielding, the fielding, how much of an importance that it makes for a game in ODIs or even in Test matches, and especially the white ball format when Dhoni took over captaincy and he started to emphasize fielding. That's when he said like, okay, we do not need to include too many senior players, but we need more youngsters, a bit of both, a little bit, some senior batters and senior players, but at the same time we need to have youngsters who are very good fielders, because when they may not contribute with the bat or the ball a lot, they'll sometimes score runs, sometimes pick up wickets in that, but the one thing is that they would contribute in the fielding. They would save you a lot of runs, and that becomes an ultimate difference in winning and losing. That's when
yeah.
he started to Try to encourage
Raina,
more
Virat
players, guys like
Kohli,
Suresh Raina,
Ajinkya
Virat Kohli,
Rahane.
Jadeja, Ajinkya Rahane, even Yuvraj Singh himself. Let's not forget Yuvraj Singh
Rohit
before
Sharma, early Rohit Sharma,
peak
10 years
cancer.
ago, he was a
Rohit Sharma,
fantastic.
a young Rohit Sharma, even now
Yeah,
also,
yeah.
man. Even though he's still 36, 37 years old, he's still a good fielder.
You're
Not the
good.
fielder that he used to be when he was very young. Rohit Sharma in his prime, he was also a
Yeah,
super fielder, man. Is that one of the
yeah,
best fielders? But Jadeja, Suresh Raina, Jadeja, Virat Kohli, those three come to mind when you see best fielders, elite fielders, Raina, Jadeja, Kohli, and then you see Jadeja. When in a run out situation, if you want someone to throw the ball and get someone, to get a run out, especially when bowlers cannot find a way to get him out. But there's always that old saying, man. If you a batsman who's playing very good, very great, cannot get him out, and all of a sudden he gets run out of somewhere. They say commentators say that, oh, that's the. I mean, the way he's been playing this great. That's how he had to get out. That's exactly what Jadeja would do, man. Get a set batter or a new batter, trying to create that pressure while they run between the wickets, and all of a sudden, get that wicket taking opportunity in the field, and that's what Jadeja has done. So that's a kind of a legacy I would say Jadeja has set as a fielder predominantly, but he's that perfect all-rounder, man. That perfect all-rounder India have produced in white ball formats. The batting that he can give you as a finisher, the the overs of spin bowling he can give you. He can pick a wicket on a good turning track, and also even on flat tracks he can try to bowl stump to stump and contain the batsman. Not give too many runs. Yes, he may not have had the best of the tournament this World Cup, but uh, on a good when Jadeja is in form, he's in rhythm with the ball. He doesn't give a lot of runs. Very difficult to hit him for a six, or sometimes very
yeah,
difficult to sweep. He's that kind of a bowler, bowling that stump to stump. That kind of a bowler he is, and
yeah.
I would say that's pretty much it on Jadeja's legacy, man. That's how
Actually,
I would say it
yeah.
up.
Probably he might have retired because they know that he knows for the fact that he might be thrown out after this T20 World Cup. So that's why. Plus, Akshar Patel also was also performing really well actually. So
Yeah,
and plus, leaving the retiring on a high note. I think that's like basically what all Rohit, Virat, and Jadeja did. They retired on a high note, winning a World Cup, retiring. What a way to end the T20 career on a
yep.
high note. But moving forward, I think we have to look at the future of Indian cricket team. There's going to be a new big change, especially the T20 format, where we're going to see new players, a new captain, a new coach. I think we all can agree upon the fact that Gambhir is going to be the coach for the Indian team. And I
And
think as
Hardik
far as the
Pandya the captain.
captaincy, Hardik
Hardik
Pandya,
Pandya.
Hardik Pandya will be the captain. Uh, I think if you look at the future, what I would like to see is how Hardik, Rohit, Gambhir, how these three uh, gel well together. I think that is the key thing for the Indian team success.
Rohit Sharma.
How these three, yeah, Hardik, Rohit, and Gambhir.
No, Rohit Sharma is retired. No.
No, I'm talking about Rohit Sharma and other two formats, Test and One Day.
Oh, you're saying test and one day. I mean, I'm just talking about T20 internationals because Rohit Sharma is
Yeah,
not going to be there.
T20.
So I'm
Yeah,
specifically talking
yeah. No,
about
I'm
that.
just
But
saying in
both
the no
different field.
overall I'm talking about. I think
Yeah. I
how these
understand that.
three how these three get together is very important because we don't want a situation where there's differences between coach and captain and all. We don't want that to happen because that will impact the team's performance itself. And we've seen that in the past, and we've seen in Indian cricket history that the best days which India had is when the coach and captain gel well together. I don't have to mention the
Of course.
history of the best captain, so I don't have to mention that.
I
So
mean,
I
I can
think
list a few of them. I can list a few of them.
I know Gary Kirsten,
Saurav
Dhoni,
Ganguly and John Wright,
John
Gary Kirsten Dhoni,
John Wright,
Saurav Ganguly and John Wright, now Virat Kohli and Ravi Shastri. We don't need to say that.
Dravid and
We know that very well.
Rohit Sharma. So I don't have to
Dravid
mention
and
that.
Rohit Sharma.
So So how Hardik Pandya is going to take over the team is something that's very interesting. How Gambhir is going to look at it, because what we have seen with Gambhir in Kolkata Knight Riders is one thing I've seen in Gambhir as a coach, as a captain. I think he backs his players, and whatever decision he makes, he's going to
Of
back
course.
it. I think he backs his players, he supports his players, and he's a very shrewd character also. And same with Hardik Pandya. I think people misunderstood what Hardik Pandya did uh, this season. He had a very bad season as a captain, as a player. But let's not forget the fact that uh, why did he came into the picture as a captain? He won an IPL. He came to the finals. That is the reason, and he had an off season in the third season. Every captain will have an off season here, and even the greatest of
Of
captains
course.
like MS had an off have an off season. Whereas if you look at other captains like KL Rahul or Sanju Samson and all, they only qualified only twice only, but they have not won tournaments there. But they have the amount of time they didn't qualify is a lot more actually. That is the reason why Hardik Pandya is into the conversation as a captain, because they know that he has the experience of captaining the team. He knows how to win a tournament. He has managed the teams very well. And
He's a
what
big
I
match
like to
player,
see
of
Indian,
course. Well deserving
he's a
as a
big
leader
match player, of
anyway.
course,
He deserves that
but the
captaincy,
only
man. I mean,
he
go
deserves the
ahead.
captaincy. But the problem is that he's very injury prone. That's the only issue which I have with him. He's injury prone,
I
and
mean, I don't need to
another
say
reason
why.
I
I
like to,
mean, we don't need
I don't have to
to,
mention,
elaborate
yeah, I
on
don't
why
have to
he's injury
mention,
prone and all that. That's
but
one of the
another
reasons why I
reason,
said they shouldn't select Hardik Pandya in the first place. When I said that because he's injury prone,
yeah,
that's
yeah,
what I
yeah,
said.
I know,
Again,
yeah, but
they gave him
uh,
a chance, and he was clutch. So good to be.
yeah,
I mean,
but
kudos to BCCA.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But another issue what I like to I seen with Hardik Pandya is that the way he talks to the media also. I think his communication skills is not great. I think there's a match against Delhi versus Mumbai where he wantedly blamed Tilak Varma for, if you remember the interview which he gave, he said that if Tilak Varma would have scored runs here and there, which actually Tilak Varma was the best batsman. He was probably one of the best players. He was the one who was giving you the chance to win. And out of nowhere, he single-handedly singled out Tilak Verma, and that has caused a
He
bit of a rift in the
pinpointed
dressing
out
room. So
him.
that is
Yeah.
something he pinpointed out. I think that is something that he has to work on his communication skills, how he talks to the media, because sometimes media will take
It happens.
something and will twist the. So that's what no. That is why Rohit and Dhoni and Kohli, they know how to talk towards media. That is one thing
And I
I
heard
like
that
to
there
see
was a
that.
rift between, and I heard that because of that there was a rift between Tilak Varma and Hardik Pandya because of that. There was some backlash between the
Exactly,
two of them.
exactly.
That's
That
what
is
I heard
what
about that.
he needs to know how to talk to the media and how to publicly support, when to support him. Uh, you can be harsh on, you can be blunt about your bowling, your batting, but it's unfair to single out a player. I felt that is unfair. I think that is something he needs to work out. But having said that, I think he deserves a captaincy, and I think Gambhir as a coach will work out pretty well. Even he's also having the same issue actually with Gambhir. He can be a little bit too much of blunt, but
I mean,
but probably because he's been paid to say whatever he wants. So, but anyway, I don't want to get into that. But I think it's going to be very interesting times. And one thing I like to mention: this is now we have won the T20 World Cup. The monkeys off the bag. It's time that India should start winning more ICC trophies in the next 3-4 years. We got 4 tournaments. We got Champions
hopefully,
Trophy and W. I'm just saying, next year Champions Trophy, WTC final. We got a T20 World Cup 2 years time in India. We got a 50 over World Cup in 3 years time in South Africa. At least 2 or 3 you have to target. This is an ideal opportunity for Indian
yeah,
team to. We have the talent. We have the talent. It's just a matter of we need to start winning the tournaments. We have consistently reached semis and finals. Now we finally won a tournament. This is the ideal opportunity to take over.
ஸ்கிரிப்ட் அதான் எதை கேட்டா நான் தான் சொல்றேன் சிம்பாலிக்கா வந்துட்டு ஐசிசி தே themselves give most of the hosting rights. I mean, it's a bit of a joke that ICC are just trying to favor the Indian cricket team to giving in terms of hosting rights or schedule matches, whatever it is. They try to give as much as hosting rights in the subcontinent as much as they can because of viewership and all that kind of stuff. And it's like symbolically, I just joke around it and saying symbolically that I'm giving you this many chances. Try to at least win one man. அதாவது உருப்படியாவது ஜெயிச்சு தொலைங்கடா தான் அப்புறம் செஞ்சீங்களா சோதா பசங்களை வச்சுக்கிட்டு ஜெயிக்க மாட்டேங்கிறானுங்கடா எப்பா அப்படின்னு சிம்பாலிக்கா திட்டுறானுங்க அந்த மாதிரிதான் இருக்கு
அட்லீஸ்ட் போய் ஜெயிச்சுட்டாடா ஒரு டோர்னமெண்ட் ஜெயிச்சுட்டா
ஜெயிச்சாச்சு வெஸ்ட் இண்டீஸ்ல ஜெயிச்சாச்சு சரிடா ஆனா நான் நோட் பண்ணிக்கிட்டே இருக்கேன் 2011 வேர்ல்ட் கப் இந்தியா ஜாயிண்ட் ஹோஸ்ட் வித் பங்களாதேஷ் அண்ட் ஸ்ரீலங்கா சரி அதுக்கப்புறம் பாரு 2012 T20 வேர்ல்ட் கப் ஸ்ரீலங்கால 2016 T20 வேர்ல்ட் கப் இன் இந்தியா 2014 T20 வேர்ல்ட் கப் பங்களாதேஷ் 2023 ICC cricket world cup in India 2021 ICC T20 world cup in UAE even though it's in the Middle East, but still you can still technically say it as Asia and the all that thing viewership and whatever it is. And then you're having the ICC Champions Trophy in Pakistan, T20 World Cup joint host India and Sri Lanka, if I'm not mistaken. Then another Champions Trophy in India somewhere, India, Sri Lanka somewhere. Then the Cricket World Cup in 2031 in India. So I'm saying that இது ஒரு பேட்டர்ன் இருக்குடா அதான் சொல்றேன் நானு I see even though we can joke around and I know it's a joke but realistically I won't blame ICC for doing that because they just want to at the end of the day they want to promote the sport and generate as much revenue as they can and they're trying their best and now they've figured it out especially in this generation that you're seeing that the more people are from that subcontinent the viewership I'm saying the viewership is when there are events have been hosted in India especially in the subcontinent and then of course in England, South Africa. I mean, a lot of experts have said this. Even Australia as well. That also generates a lot of viewership, and I don't blame the ICC for doing that. At the end of the day, they want to generate as money as they as much as money they can, and that's how they want to do it. So even though it's some of them experts who have a problem with that, and when I mean experts, I don't need to say who. So I don't want to pinpoint out names, but you know who I'm saying right now. Or if you want to say his name or just call it out, I don't care. I'm ready to just roast it out. But anyway, like I said, it's yeah. I mean, it's okay. Let's do it for another time. Let's not do it now. But I'm saying that that's it is what it is, man. But I joke around when I say that, okay, இவ்வளவு ஹோஸ்டிங் ரைட்ஸ் நாங்க உங்களுக்கு குடுக்குறோம் தயவு செஞ்சு உருப்படியா ஜெயிச்சு தொலைங்கடா லூசு பசங்களா அப்படின்றது சிம்பாலிக்கா சொல்ற மாதிரி இருக்கு
அது கரெக்டடாண்டா எவ்வளவு காசு கொடுத்து கொடுத்து பிசிசி நிறைய காசை வாங்கி வாங்கி ஒரு டோர்னமெண்ட் ஜெயிக்கவே இல்லை அதுதான் பிரச்சனை
I mean, at least they won now. அப்பாடா இப்பா ஜெயிச்சு தொலைச்சிங்களடா எப்பா போங்கடா but anyway it is what it is. I mean, I don't want to make it. I don't want to sound it political and all that. I'm just joking around. But also,
I understand that.
It's a business. It's a business and a commercial move at the end of the day. So it is what it is.
Yeah, of course. Because let's not forget, man. IPL is the one that created that avenues and opportunity for BCCI to take over. Actually.
Cash cow, yeah. Because without IPL,
yeah, they became.
God knows what will happen.
Without IPL in cricket won't survive, bro. It would have been in. That's what it is. But
without IPL, you wouldn't see this elevation or the attempt to even trying to promote or the reattempt to promote cricket in USA, like I mentioned at the start of the video, with what ICC are doing. Without IPL, I don't think this would have happened. The buzz and that hype and that social media, that the media coverage you get. Imagine, man. Like I actually talked this to you off the record, man. Like imagine you're going to get the mainstream American media, the American channels, the NBC, CNN, or ESPN. Even though technically ESPN Cricket Info is still there, but you see Fox Sports, even Fox Sports are also there. But I'm saying the mainstream American media,
CBS.
uh, yeah, exactly, CBS and all that TNT. I mean, not Dynamite, but it's TNT, the Turner Sports Entertainment. That is. So if you want to see
TNT,
that kind of
TNT Sports,
mainstream
I know
media,
that.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm telling it for audience who I'm thinking that I'm saying
I know
TNT as
that.
Dynamite.
I know that. I know that.
Not
I know
that.
that sport. I know the mix.
I'm not saying you, bro. I know you. See, I'm not saying it about you. I'm saying for the people who are watching the video. But anyway, what I'm saying is that the mainstream American media coverage, you just imagine that the amount of coverage and the TV deal, the television deals, and all that kind of media deals you're going to get, and the more you see over the next few years, I would not be surprised if you see players in the IPL auction in some of the mini auctions. You saw 24, 25, 23, 24 crores, for a single player, the highest bid. In a few years' time, we might see 35, 40 crores going up. If you're saying that over the next 5 years, if you're going to see a lot of mainstream media coverage from especially from the USA, of course, in every other country, I'm not ignoring that, but especially from the USA, if you're going to get that much coverage, that's the amount of viewership and revenue you're going to generate, and the more revenue that BCCI, IPL are going to generate. Yes, it's too much. There are a lot of intricacies, a lot of details to cover on this, which we don't want to give our audience too much detail on that because it's too confusing. And even for me as a general audience, I'm not sure of all the stuff. But I'm just talking very laymanly that the more revenue that BCCI will generate from that coverage, you're going to see auction over the next few years, whether overseas players or even Indian player superstars who are the stalwarts of the Indian cricket and the future stalwarts. I'm saying if they're going to if they're going to get their name under the auction table, you're going to see some players go for a high bid of 30 crores, 35 crores, maybe breaching over 40 crores in, like, I don't know, 5, 6 years time once the Olympics roll
There
around.
were, bro. There were reports are saying that there were some reports which I read somewhere that they're planning to increase the purse. At the moment, it's 100 crores. They're planning to increase it to 110, 120 crores. Imagine each and every year,
There you
every
go.
2 years or 3 years, the amount of purse that each team is going to get is increasing day by day. And the amount of money each and player is going, man, oh man, bro. And actually, you made a very valid point, man. Imagine if the Americans get the hosting rights of cricket. Imagine that it will take it to another level. Actually, if I'm being honest, because at the moment it is in BCCI's hands and they have the cash cow. And I think, whatever you like it or not, man, if I could make an analogy towards, it's like football. European football is like
Mhm.
the major football entertainment
Of
source
course,
in the world. But
of
recent
course,
times, the Saudi league has attracted a lot of top players. We've seen
Ronaldo.
Cristiano Ronaldo's or Karim Benzema, all these guys. They are coming to Saudi leagues. But then the still the European football is retaining its charm. It's retaining its royalty, and that's what I would
Hmm.
that's what I would like to say in cricket. American sports will if America is rising up cricket wise, if it's rising up and it will start attracting more players, they cannot beat what IPL has. Where IPL is already is a $1 billion entity actually, and it's going to grow exponentially year after year. And you won't be
A lot
surprised in the
more.
next five
Yeah.
years. In the next 5, 10 years, it's going to be the number one sporting event in the world,
I
most
mean, it's
valued
not too far
sporting
away,
event.
but it's not too far away, but
In
it will have its time.
at
So
least
once
2, 3 years.
that's why I'm saying that the 2028 Olympics will be a very important thing for cricket, though. But it's too early for us
Yeah.
to say like that. But it's all how it is presently constructed. But we don't know what will happen. Yeah, we might see, or we might see the very thing that we envisioned, or the thing that I predicted, or we predict, saying that once the mainstream media coverage, in especially in USA, you're going to get that much exposure, then automatically things will happen. But we don't know for that. It's still a long way to go. But I think this T20 World Cup overall, to close it up for the video, I would say that this T20 World Cup, I think served its purpose. I would say that done a lot, especially some of the stalwarts of cricket, who they've done their best to promote the sport in the USA, especially in New York, in Dallas, and in Florida. So I think the tournament has served its purpose. The way the USA cricket team performed in the tournament, reaching the Super 8s, which in itself was a big achievement, and
And qualify for the
what
next qualify for the next T20 World Cup.
yep, in India, that also. So that's what I'm saying. Like, it served its purpose, achieved more than what it was supposed to happen. Not just promote the sport, but also the way the USA team performed. It elevated more than that. So it exceeded expectations a little bit. But yeah, it's the advantages and disadvantages of so many teams participating in the tournament. It was there. It's not that it has changed significantly, but you know that.
So yeah, what you said is actually really right. Actually, imagine if if imagine if we have another superpower country like USA coming into the fore. Imagine what a competition India will have. That'd be crazy.
Especially if they
I
become
know
a
it's
test
too
playing
far
nation,
away.
which is also not far away though. If
Yes,
they become a test playing nation, which is also not that far away.
yes, yes, yes. And imagine US cricket. Imagine it reaches to another level. You got to attract a lot of big company sponsors. It's going to increase a
Yep,
lot of revenue.
that's exactly what
Imagine
I'm
that.
saying. But
But with
I
that
think we've
being,
touched everything.
but with
Yep.
that being, yeah, we touched upon it. With that being said, that we're going to end this video. Bright note that India has finally won a T20 World Cup after a long time. Probably, uh, probably after all the stuff that fans have gone through, the players have gone through. We see a couple of retirements. We have also talked about the what for cricket in future is going to look like. We touched upon a lot of topics. With that being said, thank you, Ajit, so much for joining in for the podcast. And please make sure like, share, subscribe to the YouTube channel. We're going to produce consistent content. And with that being said, we take care. Goodbye. Bye bye. Take care.
Bye bye.